Hey, what's up? It's your boy, 24/7 here with 24/7 Fusion Media. And as of the last couple of weeks, we've been sitting here looking at and analyzing what James Gunn has proposed for his Phase 1, Part 1 of the new DCU slate. And the first thing that was questionable, besides his choice of projects, was his choice of writers. And we seen some of the people that he has on his writing staff, and it has all of us wondering, what is James Gunn doing? Because the people that he have, seriously, they're incompetent. And some of the worst writers in DC Comics, in entertainment, period. So, with that being said, we get into this article coming from Starter Facts. Is DCU's questionable choice of writers Gunn's biggest mistake yet? Aside from his choice of projects, yeah, I think it's one of his biggest mistakes yet so far until he makes his next one. But we'll see what is being said here. James Gunn is a self-described writer at heart and is bringing that philosophy into his new role as co-CEO of DC Studios. He's fed up with Hollywood leaving out writers in favor of actors and directors, and plans to rectify that in his new role. Despite this new direction for the studio, Gunn's new writing team is questionable at best. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Gunn and fellow CEO Peter Safran announced a new slate of DC movies last month, calling for their first batch of movies in series Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. Some of the writers they've announced have a less than stellar history, leaving fans wondering how they fit into Gunn's writer-centric view. Boy, this is going to be crazy here. The writer's room, Gunn announced, would ideally allow DC Studios to compete with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, includes Crystal Henry, Christina Hudson, Jeremy Slater, Tom King, and Drew Goddard. Wow. And then it's funny how James Gunn announces these people with a straight face. Ain't that some shit? New series Waller, starring Oscar-winning Viola Davis, was announced as a spin-off to Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, with Crystal Henry hired as a writer. Henry worked as a supervising producer and writer for the 2019 show Watchmen, which was straight dog shit, which was met with mixed reviews. Fans said it was managed to be both overly convoluted and boring. And it was woke. It was woke as fuck. So that was a definite no-no. Christina Hodson wrote The Flash, a movie hitting theaters this summer. She was a sole screenplay credit for Batgirl, a movie deemed so bad that DC scrapped it before it even reached theaters. Man, I heard that movie was complete dog shit. It was to the point where even Peter Safran and James Gunn said it was unreleasable. So, yeah, you take that for what it is. I'm not going to argue. I know I've seen little bits and pieces of her running around. Like, it doesn't even matter. It just looks horrible. Jeremy Slater doesn't yet have a specific writing credit for the upcoming slate of films, but he'll be heavily featured in Gunn's writing room. Slater wrote 2015's Fantastic Four, which is known as Fan Four Stick, which may be the most unwatchable superhero movie ever made, as well as Netflix's abominable Death Note adaptation. Damn, so they hired the guy that wrote fucking the Fantastic Four movie with Michael B. Jordan? Oh, hell nah. And then comic book writer Tom King has several works that are pretty renowned, but also famous for changing characterization of fans' favorite heroes. Not ideal for the main story of the iconic franchise, King also specializes in bleak, morally ambiguous characters, just like Zack Snyder, who kicked off the disappointing DCEU a decade ago. Yeah, Tom King he's trash. He is complete trash. So already James Gunn is like, wow, this is horrible. And it says here that it seems like a step backwards. Among the positives on Gunn's writing team is Drew Goddard, who developed the incredibly popular Daredevil Netflix series for Marvel, as well as several other quality shows of the past 2 decades. But for the most part, this group of writers that Gunn developed will shape the future of DC's franchise does not inspire hope in his fans. So basically, he got 1 good writer out of 4 so far. Wow. That is fucking wild. Gunn's proven himself a capable filmmaker and probably deserves the benefit of the doubt, even with such a lackluster group. Yeah, 3 out of 4 of those writers are completely trash. Everybody's just left clueless on what James Gunn plans to do with the majority of his writing staff are straight hacks. Huh. Part of Gunn's new plan is to refuse to send a film into production until the screenplay is completely finished. This approach may bring out the best of these writers, but ultimately, little they've done thus far point to this team being successful. And after a decade of disappointing DC movies, fans are allowed to feel a little pessimistic. And I agree. I mean, we've gotten quite a bit of shitty movies. And for the handful that stood out as being some decent movies coming from DC Studios, that's, there's a lot to be said on as far as what are we going to get now? And with James Gunn coming right out the gate with, I'm going to be serious and say this, yeah, it was a snooze fest when it came to his Phase 1, Part 1 of the DCEU slate. I was yawning through that whole shit. So it was nothing to write home about. And at the same time, when you hear about his writing staff, except for one individual, they're incompetent. And Christina Hudson, she's already failed one good time. And now she's up with The Flash. We're going to see where she's at when The Flash drops to see if this story is something worth anything to give Christina Hudson any kind of credit. But besides that, everybody else are dipshits. But other than that, Phase 1 is already looking as a disappointment. And his creative team in the writer's room doesn't seem to be any better. So with that being said, I think James Gunn has a lot to prove. And just because he's done a couple of movies that people like, he doesn't get a pass just yet. So with that being said, all I'm saying is James Gunn has a lot to prove. His writing team has even more to prove. And the fact that he has a collective group of dipshits, minus one individual, Godard. Everybody else is whack as fuck. So what does that say? Just get ready for a bunch of underwhelming projects and look for Tom King to definitely change a lot of your characters around to a point where you'll end up hating them at the very end. But that's my take, and that's how I feel. You guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think that his writing team is going to be a driving force to give us good content? Like I said, you guys let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And as always, it's your boy 24/7 here with 24/7 Fusion Media. And I'm out. Peace.